It's Coast to Coast with Mike, your host. It's the YouTube show that helps you cash in most. His track record's phenom, his cashing rate is the bomb, and it's all brought to you by RacingDudes.com. And now, the host of your show, Mike Somich.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Coast for Saturday, June 30th, 2018. I'm your host, Mike Somich, and today is Mandatory Saturday. It's going to be an awesome day of racing, highlighted by the mandatory payouts at both Churchill Downs and the Rainbow Pick 6 mandatory payout down at Gulfstream Park. That pool is expected to get to over $5 million on just a 20-cent denomination bet, so make sure you get involved down there. It is also mandatory that you check out RacingDudes.com today. We've got 13 previews up for all the big races across the country and up in Woodbine today. Additionally, Magic is just going to be pulling his hair out because he's got 13 reviews he's got to put up today on the site as well, so make sure to check it out after the races have happened just to find out more about it and watch some replays. Additionally, we've got a bunch of big-time graded stakes today. XY Jet returns down at Gulfstream Park. We've got the Princess Rooney, which I'm going to cover from Gulfstream a little bit later. We've got the United Nations, which Aaron's going to take a look at. We've got the Grade 1 Highlander up in Canada, too. And additionally, the richest race of the day is the Queen's Plate for 3-year-olds bred in Canada, which is really interesting because you have some fillies taking on the boys there. But we know why you're here. You want to get some picks. So without further ado, let's go coast to coast.
What is up, everyone? Hope you all are excited for a huge Saturday of racing. Man, we have got races from literally coast to coast this weekend. Also from Canada as well. Woodbine has got the Queen's Plate and everything that goes along with that. I am going to talk about the United Nations. It's a Grade 1 race going 1 mile and 3/8 on the turf at Monmouth Park. It's going to be race 11. Let me tell you something. There's 9 horses in this race, and really any of them can win. It is a stacked race. They're all separated in the speed figure department by maybe like 3 or 4 digits. That's it. So it's really, really a good one. And Chad Brown we trust, right? But the problem is the idiot brought 4 horses. So which one do we pick out of his 4? That's right. Chad Brown has 4 of the 9 horses in this race. So I went with the favorite in this race. Number 5, Money Multiplier for me. I look at it like this. He's 2 for 3 at Monmouth Park. The 2 wins in the Monmouth Stakes. The 1 loss came in this race 2 years ago where he narrowly lost to a world-class turf horse in world approval. So he's done nothing wrong at Monmouth. It almost looked to me like he was kind of starting to fade away, kind of getting older and maybe not running quite as well. He shows up at Monmouth last time out and wins very nicely. So Money Multiplier for me. I went another Chad Brown horse, the 4, Kurlov, as my second choice. He was second 3 races back in the Gulfstream Park turf. It was a Grade 1 race. Struggled over kind of a soft turf course at Churchill Downs 2 races back, and then was a dead heat winner with a fellow entry in this race, Profiteer, last time out at Belmont in an allowance. So I love the Chad Brown, Irad Ortiz combo on Kurlov. I picked him in second. Underneath, I went with One Go All Go in third. This horse has quietly had a very, very nice year, and he also won the Grade 2 Elkhorn at Keeneland a few starts back. So One Go All Go will be tough. I think he'll get out to the early lead. And then for my 4th choice, boy, you could go really 100 different ways here. I went with another Chad Brown, believe it or not. I'm going to go Silver Wave, the 7 and 4th. He's been a little disappointing since coming to the United States, but I don't know. I just think he's training a little bit better. Chad Brown says he thinks he's ready for a big race. So Silver Wave could be a little bit of a factor underneath. I also like the 8, bigger picture. I would throw him in there. I would throw Oscar nominated underneath. So when it came down to tell you, hey, who am I going to bet the $10 on? Because we try to keep to that $10 budget here. I played around with combinations of exactas and trifectas, even superfectas for a while, and I just couldn't narrow it down. So I'm going to keep it simple. $10 to win on Money Multiplier. I think the odds, with all the other horses in the race, I think the odds will be good enough to say, hey, bet $10 to win. Let's hope we get about 2 to 1 on him and double up our money. By the way, quick shout out to my boy Jared Welch. He picked up this for me this weekend. It is, or last weekend, I should say, Justifies, Sports Illustrated. I remember buying American Pharoah Sports Illustrated when he won. No idea where it is now, so, oh well, what are you going to do? So anyway, so that is my, back to the race, that's my picks, 5, 4, 2, and 7. Good luck to everybody playing this weekend.
Gulfstream also has a massive day of racing on Saturday. They've got 4 or 5 stakes races on the undercard before getting into 2 big-time graded stakes. You've got XY Jet, who's going to close out the card in the 13th race. Right before that, you've got the Princess Rooney, which is a Breeders' Cup win-in-your-in race, and part of that Pick 6 sequence that's going to have between a $3 and $5 million pool on Mandatory Payout Day. Now, in that Princess Rooney, Curlin's Approval is going to be a very heavy favorite. She's 6-5 morning line. She's won 8 times in 14 tries at Gulfstream. She's got a career best buyer at Gulfstream. She won this race last year. She is the most logical horse. I will be taking her on top, but I think that she's vulnerable in this spot for a couple reasons. I like a couple sneaky horses, so let's go to the outside and look at Spanish Harlem. Spanish Harlem's been trying the turf quite a bit. She came into her 4-year-old season, ran 7 furlongs on this Gulfstream dirt. It's the first time she got under a mile, and she actually ran a career best buyer going 86. If you look at her next race, she runs out on turf, doesn't run that as well. But if you go back to that 86 and you think, well, maybe she can improve off that race and maybe really 7 furlongs on the dirt's where she belongs, she makes a lot of sense in here. And she can be very dangerous with a 10-1 morning line. Right to her inside is a horse named Stormy Embrace. Stormy Embrace is another one that's really improved from that 3 to 4-year-old season. You've seen the consistent improvement. She took a couple months off and came back on this Gulfstream dirt, ran 7 furlongs, but note that that was sloppy. I believe that's the reason for the buyer decrease there. She struggled over a sloppy track the year before, and so I'm not really concerned by that. I do like the fact that she's able to gut it out and win. I think that shows a lot of heart, and I expect that she can take a step forward. 2 back, she ran a 93 buyer going 7 furlongs over Tampa's dirt. And if she's able to improve off that performance, she makes a lot of sense here. I realize both Stormy Embrace and Spanish Harlem are taking a step up in class, but I think that you really have to try and take a shot at some point in this sequence. I think these two at 10 and 15-1 morning lines make a lot of sense in this race and are going to be ignored in a large part. The other 2 horses that I do like here are the 3-horse My Miss Tappet. My Miss Tappet makes a ton of sense from coming out of the Pletcher barn. Tappet horse, you know there's a ton of talent here. She really wanted geared down last time out, running a 90 buyer, going 7 furlongs over the Gulfstream dirt. She should take a step forward. She should be right in this. I think that she's got every chance in the world. I'm going to be playing those 4 in the pick 6, the 1, 3, 7, 8. I will also be including the 2 Miss Locust Point in some bets. She's really interesting because she's run into a lot of very good horses, and you can find excuses in the last 2. Last time out, she was in the slop. It just was not her track. 2 back, she ran into American Gal, who went out and ran a 21:43 fractions and just burnt out that field. It was a very, very strong field at Keeneland. It produced multiple next out winners. So I think that you can really make excuses for those 2. If you go back before that, she's definitely dangerous. She'll definitely get the lead. I just don't think she's going to be able to hold it against this field. So for me, I'm going to play the 1, 3, 7, 8 in the pick 6. And then for my single race bet, I'm going to take a page out of Aaron's book. And I'm going to actually use $12 here because I want to get all 5 of those in a superfecta box. I think this could really pay if Curlin's Approval for some reason does not run first or second, and I think that there's a decent chance that that happens. So I'm going to play the 1, 2, 3, 7, 8 in a 10-cent superfecta box. It'll cost you $12. If Curlin's Approval wins, the payout's not going to be great, but if you're able to get that 7 or 8 on top and she doesn't run first or second, you could end up making a lot of money on this race for a pretty small investment. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Make sure you get involved today. Woodbine's going to be awesome. Gulfstream's going to be awesome. You got some great racing at Belmont. You've got the United Nations that Aaron previewed for you. Make sure you check out racingdudes.com. We're going to have a plethora of previews and race reviews going up there all day. We'll wrap everything up with a nice little bow on it later this week on the Blinkers Off podcast, so make sure you check out that as well. Good luck, everybody, today. I hope you cash some big winners, and we'll be back at it tomorrow. Thanks for watching Coast to Coast, brought to you by RacingDudes.com. I've been your host, Mike Somich. You can follow me at Samobomb18 on Twitter, and you can follow the Racing Dudes at Racing_Dudes. Make sure to check out the Blinkers Off podcast, available on Apple, iTunes, Stitcher, and where you get your favorite podcasts. Don't forget to check out RacingDudes.com for all the previews and race reviews every single week.